Hi everybody, I'm back with another layout. This one is a scrapbook processing video for Docrafts and the Papermania Capsule Pigment collection. So I'm just starting with some 12 by 12 white cardstock, and I'm going to use the packaging technique to create my background, and I'm going to do this by colouring in the packaging with a big brush Pit Pen by Faber-Castell, and I think that's called Light Turquoise, and then you can see I'm just smushing it down onto the paper to create a kind of watercolour background, and this kind of matches really well with the feel of the pigment collection, which is also very kind of inky and watercoloury, and I'm doing this a couple of times just so I get a really kind of good coverage, and then I'm taking the pre-cut die cut bunting sheet, and I've cut out and printed some photographs in a similar size to the bunting. And I'm just going to punch these out of the cardstock, and I wasn't sure how many I would need, so I punched out quite a few, and you can see they come out really easily for the next bit of the project where I'm going to kind of arrange them in a banner. So once I've got all my pieces punched out, I'm just working on the positioning of where they're going to go, and I wanted to alternate a triangle and a kind of more square kind of flag look, and I didn't want the photograph to be next to a square one because they're kind of rectangular anyway, so I was trying to get the kind of layout right where they were next to sort of triangle, square, including the photographs. I'm just messing around with the positioning of it. Once I'm happy with the positioning, I just stuck these down with just one glue dot each, not kind of up on foam or anything, just flat to the page, and then I'm using a sharp, I guess you can call it a pokey tool, to punch holes in the corner of each of my flags, because I'm intending on sewing it down to the page, which is why I only used one glue dot each. So I'm kind of going with the trend of doing sewing on a layout, but I don't have a sewing machine. I have a very modest sewing box, as you can see. That was it. That is the sole contents of my sewing box. So I got the biggest needle that I had, and I've threaded some jute twine from Docrafts through my needle, and I'm now sewing the bunting down onto the page. Now I've got my Pit Pen out again, and I'm doing a sort of second technique here. I'm using the packaging again, and I'm going to add some water to it with a paintbrush, and then I'm just going to shade above the bunting where it just where I intend the title to go. So I'm giving just a bit of darkening so that the title stands out more, and just gives a bit of a kind of shadowy look. I'm just going to dry that off with my heat tool to make sure that the adhesive on the back of the stickers doesn't come off and get ruined. And these are the stickers that come in the Ultimate Die Cut pack, which coordinate with the collection. You can see they're really bright and colourful and match the bunting really nicely, so I'm just sticking those down now to make my title, and they come in two different sizes. You get the nice big capital letters here, and I'm also going to use the tiny little square ones that come in the Ultimate Die Cut pack as well. title sorted, I'm just going to work a little bit more on the background. So these are butterfly stamps by Papermania, and you can still get them in the range. I saw them in there the other day. And I'm doing some second and third generation stamping. So I am stamping the first inking onto just a bit of scrap paper, and then the second inking onto the page, and that's because I just wanted the suggestion of butterflies. The pen I'm using is cobalt turquoise, and it is really strong colour. I just didn't want that to detract from the main focal point of the page, so I just used the suggestion of butterflies rather than the full-on kind of first inking, which would have been too overwhelming, I think. And now I'm making some little embellishments, so I'm going to make some butterflies here. So to do this you need a circle and a diamond shape, so I'm just using a roll of washi tape and kind of measuring that. It's about 1 inch, and then I'm drawing a square in the corner there that's about 1 inch, and this is to make a template for my butterflies. So just draw a square that's 1 inch by 1 inch. You can of course make them smaller or bigger, and then I'm putting the roll of washi in one corner of that square and drawing around it too, so that you end up with a shape which is a circle and a diamond shape, and this is how you make a little paper butterfly. So feel free to pinch this off me. I got the idea off Pinterest, so it's definitely not mine. There to use for everybody, and now I'm just drawing around my template on the back of one of my pattern papers, and I'm going to cut it out so that I can make 3 different coloured butterflies that coordinate with my bunting. And you can see me just going through my 6x6 paper pad to try and find more papers that I think would look nice. So now that I've cut out those shapes, I'm then going to concertina them up, and these were really tiny ones. They were quite fiddly to do. I'm not sure I would go any smaller than this. So I'm just concertinaing them up so that you end up with, there you go, a little fan. And then to make the butterfly you get a piece of ribbon, or in this case I used the same jute twine as I sewed the bunting on with, and I am going to just tie a double knot in the top. You have to tie it quite tightly, and then you just position it so you've got the knot is the kind of head of the butterfly, and then you trim it down so that you've got a sensible length antennae instead of, you know, one really long one like I have there. And then to make the butterfly you just kind of pull the concertina apart, and you have to be quite careful, especially with this really small ones, that you don't tear the paper, but just if you just kind of ease it out and just kind of keep working at it and encouraging the paper to just fan out, you will get these little butterflies, and it doesn't matter if they're not even, they just become whimsical. So you can see the other thing I've done is I've added some other bunting on top of my initial first line. So what I did was I turned the pre-die cut bunting over, so I had the white side, and then I just doodled on the back because I wanted the bunting to be a bit more abundant. And then I sewed that down again as well, and now I'm just using the washi tape from the kit, which is gorgeous. It comes in loads of different colours, spots and stripes and things, and I'm just putting it at the top and the bottom corners of my page just to kind of balance out. They were looking a bit empty, and I just wanted to add some of the colour in to the rest of the page, and I'm just kind of tearing it at random and kind of sticking it down so it looks layered. And then I also used the washi tape and I cut little narrow flags out of it as well, as you can see here, and stuck them onto the top, and then attached them with a coordinating brad, as you can see, just to make it look really really abundant. And then I outlined the rest of the bunting. If you like this video, then please like my page, subscribe, share it with your friends. I'd really like to keep making these videos. I'm trying to do one a week at the moment, which I'm doing quite well with. So if you really like them, then please let me know so that I know to keep making more of them. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Have a good week. Bye.